Now, this is a nightmare scenario for Donald Trump. We are seeing in the data massive defections away from Donald Trump towards the Democratic Party.
Back from 2016 to 2022, I was a well-known Trump activist. I was featured in CBS, Boston Globe. I was featured in Boston Herald, several other news outlets, and for all the work I've done over there. And I just was done. 3 years ago, I saw the hatred against minorities. I saw the hatred against trans people. I saw the hatred against other people that were not white, straight males, basically. And I was done. I had it, enough of it. I thought we were going to be fighting for the economy. I thought we were going to be fighting for all these other things. That's the image that was presented to us when we were joining the Republican Trump side. And no, it's fascism. It's racism. It's everything that you got the Democrat side and the Green Party side have been saying since 2016. And I wasn't even paying attention to it because we didn't see what Trump was capable of until a second term. When he got into a second term, that's when he went all full fascist, all full racist, all going after everybody basically, and letting Stephen Miller basically take control of the whole entire thing. So,
hi, I'm Anthony, and I left MAGA. I supported Trump because I thought he would stand for the values that I supported. I left Trump because I learned that he didn't. I'm speaking out because of the immoral and unchristian and evil immigration policy that he is currently pushing. I realized it in his first term, which is why I left. But what is currently going on has forced me to have to speak out about the atrocities that he is currently committing. I hope that others will be educated and learn that what is currently happening is not what we've been told. He's lying to us, and we need to speak out. We need to say something. Thank you.
And I need you guys to know something, that no matter what MAGA says, they're not okay. They're gonna say they're okay. They want you to think they're okay because eating crow is just not something they're good at. So share this. Farmers are desperately suing Trump to get the Biden grants reinstated before their farms go under. They're not okay. In Texas, Florida, and Louisiana, they lead the list of states with the most people in financial crisis. Those are 3 states who consistently vote to keep putting the boots back on their necks, because racism and Christianity go hand in hand to their own peril. Again, in Glenn County, California, their only hospital in miles is closing. They're fucked. 2/3 of that county voted for Trump. Missouri's biggest nail company just got slapped with 25% tariffs on steel from Mexico. Do you think that company's bound for the wood chipper? 'Cause I do. And this guy who voted for Trump 3 times watched his very own wife, who's been here for 50 years, get arrested because she wrote a bad check 25 years ago, and he cried all over the news. Meanwhile, white people are coming out of the woodwork to go, this is heinous, but they didn't say shit about the brown people. She's the same, she did the same thing everyone else did, committed a crime. Ironwood, Michigan, this is that one in the UP, their only birthing unit within 45 minutes of anybody is closing down. If they want to have a baby, they got to go to Wisconsin to do it. Way to go, MAGA. And all over Reddit, I'm seeing stories just like this. Businesses closing down, hundreds of employees being laid off all over the place. People are struggling, and there's going to be more. These tariffs are only going to shut the doors. Doors are closing. Jobs are getting lost. So no matter how much they want to lie to you, please know they're not doing great either. And they're going to lose the midterm so long as we can keep them protected.
Just a friendly reminder that in 15 years, everyone will claim that they were never a part of MAGA.
See, I called this, I just didn't say it, only because I was in firm belief that they would never leave Trump or the MAGA movement as a whole. I thought we were going to support him forever. The gates of hell could open up and take him with them, and they're still going to be like, yeah, we're on your side. Like, that's what it was shaping up to be, right? To an extent, I was still right, because even after all the bad, crazy stuff that's happened so far, with all the laws that he's passed, all the he said, his relations to Russia, everything happening in Israel, and the Epstein files, they're still supporting him, so I'm not completely wrong. But I said, when it gets to a point where it is too much, they are going to leave MAGA quietly, because they don't want to admit they were wrong. The friendships they lost, the family bonds that it caused to be pretty much shattered, if not severely damaged, all for nothing, because everything they said he was going to do happened. It's everything that they didn't believe they said they were going to do happen. So I'm just like, yeah, no, you were wrong. There are some people who have genuinely come out and apologized because they didn't do enough research. They just didn't have the information, as if they didn't have the information before, but they have apologized for it, and I do appreciate that. But then there are also those who are apologizing only because it happened to them, right? It's that fine line, because some of the people who are apologizing, or because overall saying I made a mistake, are the ones who are farmland owners or construction business owners, right? Those who were sold a dream and a lie, but don't want to actually admit the fact that they were lied to. Even with conservative men who didn't vote for Trump but are still conservative, the ones who are pretty much just lumped in with the rest of MAGA who can't get a date and can't get a girlfriend. Albeit it's a very small percentage who didn't vote for him, but still. If you're conservative, you're pretty much synonymous with Donald Trump, and that has definitely caused a rift in the dating pool for y'all, so you can't find a girlfriend, which is honestly, it's like Donald Trump. Pure girl repellent. Straight up. The best birth control any money can buy.
Alright, so I'm probably going to get some backlash from this. Might even get banned from this app again. But if you are still on the supporting side of MAGA with all this going on, what the fuck is wrong with you? Honestly. How could you still support this shit, guys? I'm just wondering.
Hey everyone, Rich here from Leaving MAGA at leavingmaga.org. I wanted just to remind everyone we are 2 days away from our first ever free online support group for friends and family of those still in the thrall of MAGA. These are gatherings that we're going to put together for healing. People who attend, you'll be able to get some proven and effective communication tools for how to rejuvenate the relationships that you have with your close ones who are in MAGA, and also how to be prepared for when your friends and family in MAGA start to have doubts, because we believe that many of them will, and how you can be someone who welcomes them as they leave MAGA, and for those who have doubts. So be sure you're subscribed to our newsletter. You can follow us at our socials at leavingmaga.org. But again, 2 days until we launch our first ever friends and family free support group. Make sure you're following us. Again, make sure you subscribe to our newsletter at leavingmaga.org. As always, appreciate your support. Hope everyone has a great day. Thanks again.
Yeah, so these facts just aren't adding up. So Donald Trump's claiming that he never sent a birthday letter to Jeffrey Epstein, but we have that birthday letter right here and it exists. Donald Trump is claiming that the entire Epstein thing is created by the Democrats and Obama and that it's a hoax, but his own administration is claiming that he was an FBI informant. MAGA, these guys think you're dumb. They think they can tell you literally anything. They can flip from position to position, spin you the exact opposite thing one day to the next, and that you'll follow them off a cliff. Prove them wrong. You don't have to follow this guy. It doesn't have to be the main aspect of your personality. MAGA doesn't have to be everything that you are. You can be more than that. You can be a regular, normal human being that's not in a cult. It's time to wake up. The narrative they're spinning you doesn't make any sense, and it's obvious. They think you are dumb. Prove them wrong.
So you know how the Trump administration is holding all these press conferences and they're like, we're winning, we're bombing ships, we're threatening to go into another country, we're winning so much. Oh, look, this one brown-skinned person has a horrible track record, we're winning. And then MAGA supporters are like, oh my God, all this winning. They're not winning and they're pissed. So here's what Fox News doesn't want you to know. So companies in the United States are taking a huge hit. Let's just focus on BlackRock, okay? The big American finance giant. They just lost $17 billion. Why did they lose $17 billion? Because a giant Dutch pension fund withdrew their investment in BlackRock. Why? Why did they do that? Because BlackRock de-emphasized climate and social justice initiatives to cater to Trump's agenda. And then this pissed off the Trump administration. Morgan Stanley, another financial giant, just undertook a huge study. They pulled a shit ton of individual investors in U.S. companies, and 80% of them said that they want companies like BlackRock and any other companies they choose to invest in to have climate change initiatives. They believe climate change is real. They're upset at all these companies capitulating to this dumbass administration. They believe in climate change. 80% of them. So they're putting their own pressure on companies, withdrawing money, investing elsewhere in companies that have the balls to stand up to this administration. Trump, their administration is not happy. And then here's a big one. Trump is so pissed off, he even posted about it. A Norway wealth fund worth $2 trillion just sold their stake in Caterpillar, U.S. equipment manufacturer Caterpillar. Yep. Just sold all of their shares. Why? Because Israel purchases Caterpillar equipment to undertake the big G word. Yeah, Norway divested in a bunch of Israel banks and investments as well for the same reason. This pissed off MAGA so much that Lindsey Graham just went on a tirade. We're going to put even more tariffs on you, Norway, and we're going to revoke, all of your visas to come here and everything like that. They are piss. Meanwhile, other investors are having this conversation across the board. Fox News is not letting you know about this. They have seen a titanic shift of other countries investing in American markets, meaning they're not. They're pulling out. They're not investing in American companies. The U.S. exceptionalism has been single-handedly destroyed by this administration. And other, especially dictator countries are more than happy to step in and fill the gap, and they are. And these investors, U.S. investors, are saying it's not going to return because European stocks, Hong Kong stocks, all these stocks are soaring, and they love it. And now everybody's buying in to other countries' investments, and they're completely bypassing the United States. And the final message that investors are passing around to each other is we have no one who's going to help us. We have to save ourselves. That's a lot of winning.
Now, this is a nightmare scenario for Donald Trump. We are seeing in the data massive defections away from Donald Trump towards the Democratic Party. This isn't just anecdotal videos here and there at this point. It's now being demonstrated in lots of polling. I want to show you how voters who supported Donald Trump are now in a mass exodus moving away from him. And that's why we're seeing Democratic over performances in all of these special elections by about 15 to 20 points as we approach the midterms. It's why the MAGA Republicans are returning from recess in such a deep panic. It's why they're trying to rig all of the maps. Let me just share with you a story first. Let me share with you two stories, then let me dig into the data. Obviously, the first story, we reported it first here on the Midas Touch Network. In Iowa's Senate District 1, the Democratic candidate Caitlin Dray flipped a Trump plus 11.5 district in Iowa. Shortly thereafter, you had the MAGA Republican senator in Iowa, Joni Ernst, announced that she would not be seeking re-election. And there was a flip in that Senate district seat of Caitlin, where Caitlin Dray won by close to around 20 points. So that's my first story that I want to share with you before digging into the data. The next story I want to share with you is this one right here. Trump wants to axe an affordable housing grant that's a lifeline for many rural communities. Now, Donald Trump, of course, promised that he would make things cheaper and he would make housing affordable. Products are far more expensive right now, despite Donald Trump saying that he solved inflation and that prices are at record lows. That's just simply not true. And housing right now is a problem, especially in rural areas right now. So you take a look at this. Trump and House Republicans in their budget are seeking to cut and eliminate the home affordable housing program that's built or rehabbed 1.3 million homes in 30 years, including 540,000 in rural areas. 84% of these homes are in districts that voted for Donald Trump. Rural families are now facing losing a major lifeline. So you see a story like this. You see Heather Colley. She's right there in this picture with her son. Her and her 2 children moved 4 times over 5 years. They fled high rents in Tennessee. They couldn't afford it. She was making $18.50 an hour. She's a 45-year-old single mother. She votes for Donald Trump. In 2021, who was president in 2021, though?
Across the U.S., videos are going viral of MAGA voters turning on their own movement. Some are crying about broken promises. Others are furious about higher costs and broken communities, and a few are simply walking away, saying they were lied to. But here's the reality. While some people feel sympathy for them, a growing number of Americans aren't shedding any tears. Instead, they're pointing out the obvious. This is what happens when you put blind loyalty over facts. When you cheer for culture wars instead of real solutions. When you buy the slogans but ignore the policies. We're watching FAFO unfold in real time. The same people who shouted about owning the libs are now left owning the mess they voted for. And yet, many still can't admit it. They'll blame everyone except the leaders they supported. This isn't just politics. It's a cautionary tale of what happens when democracy is traded for demagoguery. And while MAGA may be quitting MAGA, the damage left behind doesn't just vanish. We all have to live with it. So the question is, do we show empathy for their regret, or do we hold them accountable for the chaos they helped create? So here we are, MAGA quitting MAGA. The rallies are shrinking, the tears are flowing, and the excuses are piling up. But at the end of the day, regret doesn't rebuild communities, regret doesn't lower grocery bills, and regret doesn't fix democracy. For years, people were warned. They were told what was coming. They laughed, they mocked, they shouted fake news. Now, when reality hits, the rest of us are expected to carry the burden of their choices. So I'll ask you, do you feel bad for these voters who are now crying betrayal? Or do you think this is the clearest example of FAFO America has ever seen? Either way, this moment should remind us all, elections matter. Choices matter. And blind loyalty always comes with a price. If you believe accountability matters, hit that like button. Make sure to subscribe to our channel for more sharp breakdowns on democracy, politics, and the fallout of FAFO in action. Stay informed, stay engaged, and remember, democracy only works if you do. Just a quick note. Full credit goes to the original creators of these videos. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.